So today I'm going to go through the Netflix tag. I found it on Wattpad because I googled book tags, and obviously no one's tagged me in it. I thought it'd be really fun to do, and I don't know anyone to tag because I don't follow a lot of booktubers. I'm subscribed to Paperback Dreams and Read with Cindy, and that's pretty much it. With all that said, I thought we could get into the tag. The first part of the tag is the recently watched. So that would be the last book I read. The last book I read was Invasion of the Tierling by Erica Johansson. I hated this book. I started the Tierling, I don't know if that's what it's called, but I started the Tierling trilogy yesterday at 4 in the afternoon. I finished the first book at like 11, and then I finished like 11 at night, and then I finished this book at 3. And I was really disappointed with the second book. I'm gonna finish the series because I got the whole trilogy out from the library before all of them closed due to COVID-19. But I was really disappointed with how this book kind of set up everything. So I'm gonna finish the third book, but as far as I'm concerned, Invasion of the Tierling was maybe a 2 out of 5 star read. The first one was at least a 4.5 out of 5, which makes this one, Invasion of the Tierling, even more disappointing, if you ask me. The next thing on the Netflix tag is Top Picks, books recommended to you because of books you previously read. We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. I'm really excited to read this. I started it, but I haven't read it yet because just with everything going on. I had We Set the Dark on Fire recommended to me because I'm really interested in stories that tell queer perspectives. I don't remember if this has an explicitly queer character. I think one of them is bisexual or pansexual. I don't remember. Hopefully it ends up being as good as a lot of the ratings would suggest. And the other book that I had recommended to me, because I'm a really big sci-fi person, is Ender's Game, which I know as probably people who actually read sci-fi are judging me right now, but I've never gotten around to it, so I'm excited to read it. My brother recommended it to me because he knows I love science fiction, so I'm excited to see what Ender's Game is all about. The next tag is recently added, the last book you bought. Oh, I have to go get this. Be right back. The last book I bought was Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I really love Good Omens. I have seen the Amazon show and I read the book several times, so when I saw this at my library's book sale, I got really excited and I had to buy it. I'm not in a position in life where I can purchase books off of Amazon without my parents checking them and making sure they don't have gay shit in them. So I was really glad to find this at my library's book sale, where I could buy it surreptitiously for 25 cents and my parents would never need to know. The next category is popular on Netflix, books everyone has read, 2 you've read, and 2 you have no interest in. I think the 2 that I'm going to pick for this is The Six of Crows duology. I feel like everyone on BookTube has read them, and they should, because they're really good examples of how YA kind of sets the bar for fiction pretty much in general, and how it can kind of start off a whole, I don't want to say genres, can kind of explode genres into popularity, like how Twilight did in, I don't even remember when Twilight came out, but like how Twilight exploded dark supernatural romances into fashion. I feel like Six of Crows has also exploded, maybe it's exploded good writing into fashion. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I read Serpent and Dove because it was recommended to me because of Six of Crows, and Serpent and Dove fucking sucked. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have any opinions. Maybe I'm just dumb. Comedies. A funny book. Good Omens. Just read it. It's funny. Dramas. A character who is a drama king/queen. Just call them monarchs. It's fine. Gender neutral baby. I'm gonna say Malat from The Raven Tower, which is one of my favorite books ever written by Anne Leckie. Malat is the prince, they call it Elise, but it's basically the prince of Iridan. Malat, drama king. He literally sat butt fucking naked in the courtyard, so everyone would be like, oh my god, what happened to you, Malat? What? King shit, honestly. Animated. A book with cartoons on the cover. I had trouble with this, but then I just realized that animes are basically cartoons for adults. I have the first 2 Death Note Black editions. It's the first 4 volumes of the Death Note manga. Is it manga? I always feel dumb when I say it out loud because I can never remember which one it is. So this next one is Watch It Again, a book series you want to reread. And for that one, I would have to say the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon. Only the first 3 books are out. The 4th one is coming out, I think, next year in 2021. But I really enjoyed the Bone Season, the first one, and then the rest of them didn't disappoint me when it came to like character building and like expanding the world. I have to reread the series before the next book comes out, so I'm just excited. The next one I have to recommend, a documentaries, a nonfiction book. The one I'm gonna recommend is a little like out of the ordinary. It's Tactics by Gregory Kuhn. I'm not a Christian, and this is a book about a game plan for discussing your Christian convictions. This is written from the perspective of someone who's a Christian trying to convince others to come to Christ or whatever. But I honestly think this book is helpful just from a perspective of like learning how to present arguments. I think a lot of the time what happens when people are having an argument is we're so busy trying to make the other person see that they're wrong that we don't kind of try to convince them that our side of the situation is the right side, or that our point of view is valid as well. So you kind of need to not shock people, but you need to point out flaws in logic in a way that they actually think about when they're not like around you. I think Tactics by Gregory Kuhn is a really fascinating look, especially into the Christian mindset. I was actually given this book before going on a ministry trip because my church still thinks I'm a Christian. So I ended up going on the ministry trip. I read this. I'm probably going to keep this when I move out of the house because it was just, it was an enjoyable read. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting read, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants to learn how to format or make arguments. So the next category is action and adventure. The book is Lady Night by Tamara Pierce. This is the 4th book in the series, but honestly I read it first and I did not suffer anything for it, and especially if you're older, like I'm 16. And the series, where it starts, is probably best for 12-year-olds, which makes sense because obviously this is the last book in the series and I still enjoy it as a 16-year-old. I enjoy all the books in the Protector of the Small series, but the 4th book, Lady Night, is my favorite because it's more complex, which makes sense because it's written for an older audience. But that one's my favorite, and you could totally start with it because honestly I'm so used to like Fantasy World's info dumping on me 24/7 that I don't even notice it anymore. That's why I didn't notice that it was the 4th book in the series until I had pretty much finished it, and I was like, wait, you miss things by not reading the first 3. But I think that if you're going to start with one and you're like an adult or like a teenager who reads on an adult's level, whatever that might be, considering how many adults don't really read at all, but if you're someone who reads on an adult level, I would recommend starting with the 4th book first, just because it has a more complex story, and then you can kind of go back to the first 3 when you want an easier read. New releases just came out or will be coming out. I want to read Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis. I really like science fiction and I really like her video essays, so I feel like both of those combined will turn into hopefully a really good novel, and the plot of it sounds really interesting, especially when it's compared to Arrival, which I also think is a really good movie. I'm excited for The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. I've already mentioned it, but I'm just really excited for it. So that's the Netflix tag. I really enjoyed doing that. I thought it was fun. Why did I sound sarcastic? I did think it was fun. It was just nice to do. If you want to, feel free to give a like or subscribe. I don't know how often I'm going to be posting. I don't even know how I'm going to edit this because I haven't looked into editing at all. I just really wanted to record. I'll see you when I see you. And until then, stay safe and, I don't know, tell someone you love them, because we're all kind of in rough times right now, and I think they probably could use it. Bye!